to Laugh and Monkey Music Show. Doug, welcome back. I think this is your third time. It's a trilogy. Welcome
Yeah,
back to the Monkey Show. How are you, man?
the monkey show. I love it. I'm good. I'm good. Life is good.
Life is good. You are amazingly busy. I can't believe the energy you have and the stamina you have.
I don't think I'm busy at all. I think I'm not doing enough. I feel like I'm on like 10% of what which I should be 100. Back in the days when I was younger, I could do that, but now at 75, I'm slowing down. I feel like I'm just not keeping up with myself, but I seem to be putting a lot of shit out and keeping up.
Well,
But
you are.
I think
It,
the thing is, I'm taking my time when I do this, and I don't tell everybody so they don't know what's going to happen.
okay.
And it kind of like keeps the mystique going. It's like my record's finished and I'm getting it mastered right now, my new solo album, and I haven't told hardly anybody, that
Oh,
I've even making one. So, I thought it was real cool when Beyonce, she put that one record out about what, around pandemic time and didn't announce it
mhm.
or anything. And it was just, I thought it was cool. It's like, yeah, why make this big campaign and then get everybody disappointed?
Well, disappointed. I don't know about that, but I mean, your last album was considered solid thingamajigger.
Yeah,
Great
thingamajigger.
name. Great name. I know how you named it because my grandparents used to use the same thing. I saw that. I was like, I have not heard that phrase since my grandparents.
Yep, me too. I've never heard anybody use it except my grandma.
That and galoshes or slickers. Remember the things you put over your shoes?
Galoshes, yeah, galoshes
You
are
you put them over the
significant.
yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That's the old terms.
I'm gonna have to start thinking more for my next record.
Slacks, galoshes. You have to go. Yeah, you just keep going back more and more each time. Um, this is amazing. I mean, it's hard to believe you're 75. I can't believe
Yeah.
that you're just a musical machine. The amount of the volume before we came on, I just went back and I was looking at all the albums you've
Mm,
done collectively over time. It's
yeah.
it's, it's amazing that you've got that much work out.
I don't even realize it. And every now and then, if I do see the discography, I go, dang, I made that many records. Because as soon as I put one out, I'm working on something else. And
Yeah.
I always forget that I've got all these records out. Somebody says, how many solo records? Like, I got 10? Something like that. I'm
Wow.
going, my goodness. It's like, I remember our first record, the first time we ever recorded anything. I remember those days, and I still feel that same way. It's like, let's make this song and see if people like it.
Well, and it's fun because I've enjoyed your stuff, and I've even talked to a lot of your other peers and projects you've worked with, whether it be, you know, George Lynch or Eric or anybody, Gail from the
Oh
projects you've
yeah.
worked with.
Yeah.
A lot of yeah. But so I've all these different people, and one of the things that always is very consistent is it's usually got this really great melody and this nice groove. Usually a heavy some heavy parts to it too, but depending on where you're going with it, whether it's a bluesy or funkier thing or a soul or
Yeah.
rock, but it still always has a heavier feel to it. And that's probably because you write as a bass player. That's probably just ingrained in you in some level. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Mm, that's a part of it, I think, because bass is something that's pretty dominant in everything that
Hmm.
I do. But that's just my personality. But I think I just love heavy music. I love Beethoven's Fifths, dun, 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 gun, gun, gun,
Yeah,
gun. I mean, that's Metallica to me. And
I agree. Classical music is the heaviest stuff out there. People don't realize
right.
that.
And so, all the heavy music, I mean, listen to Elvis Presley's Hound Dog, the 45, the original version. And if
Hmm.
you really listen, how hard the band is playing. I mean, they are slamming like you never heard, like punk rockers. And I think I've always loved music that just kind of beats you in the face, kind
Yeah.
of pounds you. It's a metaphysical or a mathematical thing where you give and you take, and that's what bass does. It goes boom, 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 and drums go boom, boom. And I think the trick is to give it space so the next boom is even harder than the first boom. It's all about space rather than the notes. And growing up listening to music, that's what I was attracted to, from big band music to gospel music to everything. It was just this repetition with space. And then Yes came along and told me to fuck it all up, so I did.
Well, they're a special band though for that.
Yeah.
One of the things to do like with the bass is obviously it's prevalent, but to me it's always prevalent in a way that in a good way where it reminds me of like in the 80s, like, what was considered alternative at the time, the punk bands and the alternative bands.
Yeah. Hmm.
Bass was always leading everything.
It did.
It almost carried the melody of the song in a way, and
Even
and
soul
that's
music,
yeah,
Motown,
hmm
soul
yep,
music, everything. Yeah, you knew what the song was by the
yeah,
bass line.
and that's what I think you carry on to this day, and a lot of bands and artists don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
I've noticed that. But a lot of times I notice that there's a lot of great bass playing out there, but it's in the mix so low that
yes,
nobody knows what they're doing.
hmm
I think that if we could just bring back more bass in the mix, make
yeah,
it more of a, not even dominate, just bring it up even with everything
yeah,
else. Jeez. I mean, with King's X's, I think the bass is just as loud as everybody else. It ain't no louder. That's how
right.
I look at it. So why do people say, oh, it's too muddy? I'm going,
What about King's X?
about any music
Oh,
that's
I was
got
gonna
too
say
much
because
low,
oh,
that's
okay,
got too much low
right.
end. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It seems like people don't like low end for some reason. Maybe at concerts they do, but no, still, I find that when there's like that pound is happening, there's
yeah.
the small few that go, I get it. Then the rest of them are going, oh, it's just I can't, I feel this, and so, you
I
know,
think yeah, it's important. I remember the first time I saw Corn. It's okay, say play.
yeah,
The first time I saw them come out for the first album, I think it was in
mm-hmm,
Atlanta or something, and they were
mm-hmm,
like opening. So they were like, "Oh no, who's Corn?" I heard one song, I had the album, and you walk in, you hear, "Oh, are you ready?" And you just hear that, do 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 do. I'm like, you can't.
yeah.
That's what you want. You want to hear heavy stuff. I'm like, how could you not want to hear something that makes your ribs just open up from the inside out? Like you want to hear that, right?
Yep, I remember the day I got that record. I put it on, and when he went, I went da-dun, da-dun, da-dun.
Yeah,
I'm going, this is sneaky and creepy. And then the
yeah,
music came in, it was really low. And then when he came
yeah.
in, are you ready? I was ready. I mean, it was a
That was
perfect
exciting.
setup, a
Yeah,
psychological meltdown. Remember that first
I
song?
do.
Jeez.
That was I always forget about that, and every time I come across it, I'm like, man, that was such a powerful concert for me and a powerful time because you've
Yeah,
never heard that. But I mean, back to the point of with the bass and that is always the best part of a song to me, and the
right.
lays
Me
the
too.
groundwork. The drum is kind of like the framework, and then the bass is kind of like there's building the frame of the car, which
Right.
and then it allows the singer to kind of drive it, the guitar player to kind of like style it maybe kind of
Exactly.
as a visual, but you need the bass and the framework. Maybe the drums is more the engine, the bass is kind of the framework, but you need that to go with it.
Yeah. You have to. The bass is what dominates to me.
Mhm.
It's what dictates the groove of the song, the attitude of the song, the feeling.
Did you
It's
get a
good.
new model? A new, sorry, did you get a new this year or last year? Did you have a new bass out?
No, this has been out for a few years, 5 or 6
A few years?
years, I
Oh,
think.
I thought, no, I thought,
I lose
okay, I think,
track.
yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you had some come out in the past year though too,
oh,
on bass.
my 12 string, Schecter made me a new 12 string, and that's on sale now with my name
Oh,
on it. Yeah, so
okay.
that's
Well,
been
maybe that's
out
what it
for a
is. That
couple
might
years.
be it.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't know. I don't know. I'm getting old. I get confused. I yell at the kids on my lawn. I yell at the clouds. I don't know. God, come on. It gets crazy.
That's funny.
It's funny but true, right? My wife's like, "Where is he?" It's like in Golden Pond. He's out in the woods, lost.
I feel like
Yeah.
that. Where
So
am I?
people that aren't aware, we were talking before. The Thingamajigger is really a great album that came out last year.
Yeah.
So I could tell people to direct towards that. That was a really good album. But as you're saying, you have another album coming out soon, so
Yes,
they need
sir.
to get caught up. So can we talk about that for a minute? I mean, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I think it's just a continuation of Thingamajigger.
Is it?
I've just been writing a lot of songs, and this is the rest of them. And it's like when I make a record, I have all these songs that I like, I want to put on the record, and while I'm doing the songs that I've just written, I start
Yeah.
writing more songs, and then I go back and get a song that I wrote last year that didn't have words on it. And I go, oh yeah, I love this song, and I go back and put words on it, and all of a sudden, so it's just this cross thing of I just have all this stuff in my hard drive, and when I feel, like I want to put a song together, I'll just get up there and pull something out that I've been working on, or write something brand new that day, or dig out something that I wrote 4 years ago, that I'm going, I forgot about that song. I gotta put something on that. And so that's kind of the way it is. And it's a lot of fun. I've been doing that for years that way. And so this record, the thing is, the only difference is when I write this song is usually what I'm feeling at the time when it comes to the lyrics.
Mhm.
So the song could be 2 years old, but the lyrics could be last week where I'm feeling. So that's the only difference in everything that I put out is like, lyrics are later and it's always relevant to what I'm going through at that time. So this is a new one of just getting old and trying to figure it out.
You rock harder than anybody I know. It's funny. So, like, a couple things. First off, is as an IT person, please tell me you have a
Mhm.
backup of everything on your hard drive, so I don't have an aneurysm thinking about all this great music on one computer that's not backed up.
Uh, I have at least a mix of every song somewhere.
All
In
right.
f- in fact, I have about 350 to 400 songs on a hard drive that no one's ever heard. And I'm one of these days I'm just gonna put the box set out or do a
I was gonna
Patreon.
say, Prince, anyone? I mean, all these unreleased albums. I mean, it's a lot of music, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, a lot of the songs are like 4 tracks, 2 tracks. I mean,
Like
early
like
stuff
old
like
stuff, like Tascam type of recordings, type
oh
of.
yeah, cassette stuff, and I mean the real old stuff, that people just love to hear. And so, yeah, I'm gonna do it one day. That's the plan anyway.
You should. I mean, I think people. I love the creation and the formation of songs. Well, a couple of things is with songwriting for you. Are you playing some guitar and then doing it in bass, or are you writing it in bass and then having people convert it over, or you? Does it
Bass
depend on
is
the project, or where are you going
no,
with?
for me, bass is always the last thing actually, uh, because when I make up a bass line, find anything. I can't put nothing with it. I like to put bass into something that's already
Oh,
happened.
okay. Oh, you like to play
That's
off of it,
it,
you mean?
right. Yeah, my creativity is playing off of what I'm hearing.
Okay.
That's what I think. And so I'll start out with the drum beat. I'll pull up my superior drummer and just put up a couple drum beats that I feel like I want to dance. I want it to be groovy. I want, whatever I feel. Then I'll grab my guitar and there'll be something in my head. It'll either be a real heavy riff or some kind of chimey birds kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I'll just start plunking around until I find something that works and just start piecing it together. When I get the whole song done, that's when I go, okay, now I got to put some words on this. And now I'm really going to fuck it up because I always love the music. Everything I write, the music, I love it. I think, oh, yeah, this is rocking. Then I go, now I'm going to ruin it with lyrics or ruin it with a melody that don't
Oh my
work.
God.
You know
You're
what I'm
killing me.
talking about.
I do.
We overthink everything, and that's probably why it's the last thing I come to is that writing those lyrics. It's almost like I go, okay, here we go, because my standard for melody is so high. I mean, we've heard of some of the greatest music in the world, and now we got AI who likes to put together songs to show us all the greatest stuff in the world combined into one voice, I mean, the AI stuff is fucking crazy. They take everything that's the greatest of the greatest and they put it into one song. No wonder those songs go number one. I mean, every AI song I hear, I go, it's perfect, and I like it.
Well, here's the thing. Well, first off, it's already been done, so AI is not creating anything. It is the
Yeah,
world's
but
biggest
but but,
sonic copy machine.
but let me
Then,
let
all right,
me
okay, go.
let me interject though.
All right.
It's taken my job away from me. The
No.
fun, the fun of pulling shit out of my brain that I listened to when I was 3 to emulate something to what I'm doing now is the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
AI can just do it, and I'm going. And it does it in a second. And I'm going, well, it's kind of like somebody's got a race car and I'm still riding around a bicycle and everybody's flying past me. It's an emotional thing for me. And here's the thing. As soon as I figure this shit out, I am going to program that bitch with every kind of creativity I can think of to see what it comes up with and own it. And I think that that's what we've got to do. But we've just
Well,
got to get over the fear of it.
first off, yeah, like I said, I think it's a big copier, and I think number one, it's gonna level out. It's not gonna affect rock music as much as pop music, because most pop music fans, you like what you
Hmm.
like, you hear it on Spotify or whatever you want to hear it on.
Hmm.
You like a pop song, you don't know who it is half the time. The vocals are processed. The picture on the album cover is not even the band.
Hmm.
Now let's talk about rock. If you see the band on some crazy King's X album cover that you don't even know what it means, we've
Hmm.
talked about that. The picture is, and then you know that that music was done by that band. You're gonna go see them in a club in 8 months when they come by. AI is
Hmm.
not going to show up at a club to see it live. Rock music
Well,
fans like live music. It's
yeah,
it's it's also,
that's true. I'm not going to
it's a
argue with
different
that.
world. It's a different world.
See, but this is the argument that everybody gives to. There's no other thing that they can say good about it other than it's going to drive people to want to see live real music, which is the great thing. So, it's like when drum machines came along, drummers just had to deal with it. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I can complain about it, but honestly, after watching 7 decades of rock and roll change everybody's lives that in every way, I mean, like
Hmm.
nobody can buy a 24 track tape anymore, so those people went out of business,
Yeah.
I mean, everything changes. So we're crying over AI, but
You think
at
AI is
the
going to
at
fill Donington?
at the
For
end,
100,000 people chanting for AI? No.
yeah, at the end of the day, it's like we just gotta go on, move on, keep doing what we do.
AI is not human. People like human songs written by humans.
AI scares me because if I do talk to it, it's like a real person, and I get a chill.
Oh, I argue with mine.
I I
I
don't like.
argue with it. I browbeat it. Oh, I
Oh,
ask them questions. I just have issues with it.
it's real. It's a person to me, so I can't do it.
It's not real. It's just a.
I know it's
I
not,
argue with it.
but
I argue with it. I catch it in
I
problems
know.
still. I go, you're not even
Put
smart
it
to out
this
trick me
way.
yet.
If I give it a robotic voice, then I probably could deal with it. But these human voices are fucking freaking me out.
Yeah,
I got C3PO basically. Hello, how you doing? What,
yeah, I don't
what would
want
you
that.
like?
It's like
Yeah.
that movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Remember, was it called
Yes.
Her or something?
Yeah,
That the
yeah,
voice in his
uh-huh.
head.
Uh-huh.
That was at the end for me. I'm like, no, it's weird.
That's what
That's
this kind of AI does to me when I
yeah.
hear that voice.
No, that's it's just weird.
Anyway, back to rock and
Back
roll.
to rock and roll. But the whole point is, I think the saving grace of rock and roll is going to be the soul and the heart of rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might go down, it's ups and down. It always has. But the best thing about it has always been the community, the people, and the real humanness of it.
Bruce.
And I think it's gonna survive on some level. It might peak in valley, but it does.
Yeah,
So,
it just keeps going around in circles like it always has.
but you writing songs now, are you ever, I don't even understand how you keep your schedule at this point. So you're writing songs now for you.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're doing stuff with Lynch and Ray. And I know George said he was ending his band, and then he's
Mhm.
not ending it. I told him it was crazy before. He's like, this is it, last tour. I'm like, why? I go, this is the best album you've done in years with Lynch
Don't
Mob.
put,
You had a great singer. I go, this is the best you've sounded. I just saw him. I go,
yeah,
this is a
yeah.
fantastic show. Why would you end the best thing ever on a high note? I'm like, what are you gonna do?
Find
You know?
another band, make some more money.
Yeah, but put the band together. He's continuing on, which I think that's great. He's doing
He
that.
does. He's gonna do this as long as I am.
He should.
We'll probably do a reunion tour when I'm 100. We're both the same age, so and
The
Ray will
two of
play
you,
drums. He'll like 98 or something, 95.
the young kid, the young one. You say I harass him.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
baby of the band at 98. Are you guys going to do some more stuff soon,
We
or how's that
talk
going?
we talk about it, but it's just getting it together. Everybody lives so far away and everything is so what do you call it? Yeah, I mean nobody's in one town anymore to do
Yeah,
anything. And so that's the hardest thing is who's home long enough to take some time out to make a record and but we're talking about it and we still talk and we want to do a tour though. That's the thing that I
that
don't
would be the
want.
thing.
I would rather do a tour than a record because
I think people would like that.
I think so too. There's some good tunes on those records that I'd love to try out live, see if I can even pull them off.
You do like a King's X Lynch Mob thing, and then you guys can open for yourselves. Play a
No,
couple songs. Too tiring?
nope. nope, that's too much work. I'm too old for that shit.
All right. I'm not gonna argue with you. I mean, you put on a hard show to begin with, so I know some artists that love that idea, you know?
You know, it's a great idea. I remember Trujillo played with Suicidal Tendencies when they
Yeah.
opened for Metallica, I think it was. I thought that's awesome. But you know, yeah, that's a lot of work for me at this point. You know,
I'm saying like,
not for my fingers, you know, I could play bass all day
all right.
long, but singing, you know,
Yeah, that's a lot to your voice.
it's a whole different thing.
How are you keeping your voice up all these years? I mean, so strong. I mean, it hasn't weakened.
Oh, it's been up and down. I've had its ups and it's had its downs, and now I'm kind of at a place where it's up as well as a 75-year-old's voice can be. So I'm okay with that. You know, I've seen all my heroes at my age back when I was young and what they could do and what they couldn't do. And so I'm there now. You know, there's things I can't do and there's things I can do. And I'm just learning how to reinvent my voice in ways that I don't have that old man thing going. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm 20, but I don't want to sound like I got emphysema. You know how to,
Yeah.
oh,
The CPOD thing where you got your mask on.
yeah,
You could
yeah.
instead of the talk box, you could be singing through a CPOD mask. You know,
You know, and your voice gets like this when you're trying to sing.
yeah.
Oh, okay. You know, I don't want to get there yet, but so I still got that little tingle that makes me sound
I
right.
think but I think you do have a strong voice. I mean, and I always like I said, forgetting you're 75. I mean, your voice still is held up compared to a lot of your peers. Now, I talk to a lot of musicians, and it's not a secret. A lot of these guys are like, yeah, my voice. Some of them are like, I do nothing to warm up. It's always been strong.
Yeah, I
Some of
don't
them
do
are like,
anything.
they'll tell me with a cigarette in their hand and vodka, a drink in their hand, it's worn out from the road
Yeah.
while they drink and smoke. I'm like, oh, So what you do
Yeah,
in your voice is
yep.
genetics too. Yeah, well, you've
That's
got genetics though.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I smoked all the way through my career, smoked weed, and and I do believe that my voice would probably be in better shape if I didn't. I mean, I really believe that. And there was a period of time, maybe 10 years ago, in between maybe a 10-year period where maybe a little longer than that, but my voice just didn't seem to want to do what I needed it to do. And it kind
yeah,
of freaked me out. And I got to a point where maybe 10 years ago, I thought maybe I should just hang up singing because it had become harder. Well, it's harder to sing now because I'm older, but
hmm
I'm so used to being able to open my mouth up and just let it flow. I mean, I've been singing
yeah,
my whole life. I don't remember not singing. So so now when I get up to sing, I literally have to think about what I'm doing, about pitch, about twisting my voice and making my words come out correctly and stuff, when that was something that was never even thought of. So that kind of trips me out. And as a result of it, it kind of gives me anxiety when we get ready to go
yeah,
play. It's like, well, can you hit these notes tonight? Are you going to hit them, you know? And I don't, you know, I find new places to put my voice. And then, you know, and sometimes when you get into autopilot and then you want to do some ad-libbing that's not exactly what you used to do, all of a sudden you
yeah.
forget that my bass is in sync too with what I'm doing.
Mm,
So I got to break the sync in my head to make my voice go somewhere that I'm not used to going for it to work. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of mental stress going on in my head while I'm playing. Plus I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat and how that person thinking out front and that smiling at that person, you know. So yeah, it's a mental I love it though. I mean, playing live especially is like it's a mental feast of where I have to send all my attention to, you know, to pitch, to bass, to sound, to people, to where I stand, to breath control,
hmm
am I going to hit this note or not? And I can't. So what are you going to do now? You know, it's shit like that. It's all the mic. You know what I'm saying? Move the mic this way. The
yeah.
monitors aren't loud enough. Uh-oh, I can't hear my voice in this note. Oh, am I in pitch? You know, and then go, oh, I'll listen to Jerry. Oh, he's in pitch. I'll just your brain is just calculating until the show's over. And then you go, we are King Sex. Good night.
It's it's crazy. I don't think anybody thinks about all those things. But plus, you've been playing. People probably like a lot of people know, like, oh, you from the mid '80s, or like you always started singing in the '80s. They're not aware like you were singing and performing all throughout the '70s.
Hmm.
And people
Yeah.
was like, there's like a whole other life, and people, a
Oh
lot of your
yeah.
audience was like, I was in elementary school. I'm 55. There's a whole window there because you look so much younger. I think it really throws people
Yeah.
off. And you came out at a certain time, you look like the
Yeah.
same age. So like it's kind of amazing because people realize you're like, oh my God, he was performing at bands when I was literally in single digits, even singing,
Yeah.
performing. And I
Yeah.
think that always escapes people and me, which is amazing. When you were saying that, it's funny, as long as you've been performing for whatever, all these years, as a singer, does it still get weird to you, or do you get, is it a struggle? Like when you have somebody go into a show, like as a friend or somebody, whatever, you know them, you see them in the audience and they're watching you, and it's particularly somebody you know watching you,
Hmm.
does it sometimes throw you off? Like you have to look at something else, think of something else, so you're not clicking into that person's mindset, or you're not getting distracted to
No.
think about them?
No, not at all, because anybody that's out there that's listening to me is there because they want to be. It's just like sitting around with your friends and you're talking to them.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that's the way it is to me. And I love seeing my friends out there standing there watching. I'm going, they like what I do because the hardest thing for I don't know about any other musician, but we can be loved by the world. But all we want is our parents and our brothers and sisters to tell us we're good. But
yeah.
they're not going to tell us because they already knew that and they don't have to tell us and they've been watching us do this our whole lives. So,
They can still tell you.
huh?
They can still tell you.
Well, they could, but I'm just giving excuses
I
saying
know.
that that's kind of what we go through. So when I see somebody out there, even if it's a roommate,
Mhm.
whatever, I'm going, they get it. At least you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you a story real quick. My mother never came to see me play until we got a record deal. And she never really told me anything about if I was a good singer or I should play bass or do anything. She just had no hands-on with me. And one day I was playing in my group and I was 27 years old. And we were playing in this church and my mom comes in the back door and I'm going, whoa, she comes to see her son play. And we did the whole concert. And as soon as we hit the last note, she stood up in the back of the church and waved and walked out the back door and didn't say a word. She didn't say she liked it, she didn't like it, or anything. And I think those are the things that a lot of musicians go through is like the people that you want to be proud of you act like they don't care. Now, there's other parents who go, you're the greatest thing in the world, and that's that other dynamic where the person's basically just think they're the greatest thing in the world because their mom
Right.
and dad told them and they deserve it. And those kind of people I just kind of walk away from. But for my case, that's the way I see it. So I really appreciate anybody that will come and see me do what I do. And the other thing is because as a child, every time I sang, I saw people cry or emotionally would react in some way.
Mhm.
And me being a very emotional, empathic type person, I related to that. And I think that that's my comfort is when I sing and people are moved by it, I feel I connected with them as a person who feels like they feel, who are misunderstood, who people don't understand, the people that say, "Oh, you're too sensitive," or "You think too much," or "You worry too much," or just chill out. But I'm singing to those people to tell them it's okay to feel that way and think that way because I feel that way too, and it's okay.
I can't. So you never actually asked your mom though. Also, you never
What?
said, "Hey." You ever ask your mom like go right to her and say, "Hey, what do you think?" That would have made me crazy. I would have just been like, "What the heck?"
We didn't even have that kind of relationship for me to
Oh,
even feel
dude, man.
I didn't even feel comfortable even saying it to her.
Uh,
I mean, the only thing she ever said about the band was she loves the way Jerry plays drums because she loves drummers.
oh.
That's the only thing she
I
said.
hear that. Yeah, I wasn't very close with my mom either, but I would have been like, I sort of confronted, been like, well, but I mean,
Yeah.
that would have irritated me just as a person. I would have been like, what the heck?
Yeah, mine was like no matter what you said to defend yourself, she could shut you down and make you
Oh,
feel
one of
worse. And
those. Oh,
yeah, one of those. You can't
oh, not
whatever
worth it.
you.
Not worth it. Yeah, I get it.
Oh yeah, and bring out if you got insecurities, she bring them all out.
Well, I think one of the things you've done then, obviously taken that and you
Uh-huh.
have projected a level of comfort in your lyrics and your music to
Mm.
all the other people, though. I think you've turned that into almost a song for the rest of the people that feel that way.
I hope
You know,
so.
I think so. I've always felt that.
Good, good.
Do you? I've always noticed. I always feel you have me talk about the church, but I always feel sometimes, and it sneaks in sometimes in your music, sometimes in
Hmm.
King's X, a
Hmm.
gospel choir.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
I'm waiting. I'm surprised there hasn't been some album you've done that's been kind of or more on a solo album, more
You know
gospely
why?
kind of.
You know
Oh,
why?
I'm asking.
Because I know how to do that and everybody's done it. What I would like to hear is a black gospel choir singing with a Meshuggah riff underneath it.
Well,
That's
let's
what
get him
I'm,
on the phone.
no, that's what, well, I know them, but that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm putting gospel kind of melodies over heavy
Yeah,
mathematical music. I'm already doing that. And so for me to go
true.
try to do something authentic like that would just, to me personally, not for anyone else to do, but for me personally, would just go, oh yeah, I can do this, see what I can do.
Okay.
And it would be nice to put that record out, and people that love what Doug do would love to hear that. But for me, it's like not art. I'm not producing art in
Okay.
from my perspective, not other people, because I can't do I don't know what other people want, and I can't do it because they want it. It's got to be honest, authentically from me, or I can't do it, and to a fault. So,
As a fan, I respect that. I do. I
so
can see that.
here's what I want to do. I want to get more gospel and more heavy. That's all I'm trying to do, and more mathematical. I'm at a point in my life where I've written so many songs that I want to reinvent the riff, but mathematically, just about everything I've ever heard, we've made up every riff that there is, and we've repeated that riff 1,000 times. Maybe not Meshuggah, okay, but but I'm just looking for a new groove that I remember Jerry Gaskill's son one time said to me, he said, Doug, he said, us kids, we're looking for a new groove. And he was like 16 at the time, and
Mhm.
Corn and Deftones came out, and Mars Volta. And that's what he meant. He was looking for something a little different than what we're hearing, but nothing so far out that's gonna alienate. And so I'm just trying to be inspire, get in my head to
Mhm.
find the things that inspire me and just throw it into the cake and start stirring, again, because I've always done that. But in the last 5 years, I think I've been trying to write short pop songs, songs that catch you real quick, melodies that you can sing along with. I mean, Thingamajigger was 35 minutes long. It had 10 songs on it, and people said, when I get done with it, I just want to play it again. And I go, well, that's
Yep.
good. But I forget that, just because I get bored with the 3 minute, well, I get bored with a long song now, long proggy song. All the people that love what I do love those long proggy songs. So I need to find that balance. You know what I'm saying? I think about this shit all day long. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to say first off, my motto you can feel free to lean into it is you think you stink. Really good, basic. If you think you stink, just
Yes.
don't think too much. Every time you start thinking, go. If you think you stink, but you got to keep. I think all of us as fans want you to be, at least me so much as a fan. I want you to write what you write, so it feels good. Now, the idea of hearing, like I said about the gospel, I hear it and you play stuff. I'm like, man, I wonder why he hasn't leaned more into that on certain songs or kind of really played it out solo. I get that you
Hmm.
would want to do it if you want to do it. I wouldn't want to hear an album if you just do it because you feel like you have to, because that's lame.
Yeah. Yeah.
But asking you, hearing your mindset, perfectly, it makes sense, and I'll
Cool.
just enjoy it from the other stuff you do. But that's
Now,
the
you
thing.
know
But as a fan,
something?
I don't want to see you force it though.
Okay, cool. But there is something I've been thinking about. I want to get you remember Buddy Miles' band? You ever heard of him? He played with Jimi Hendrix, but he had a
Yeah,
band called Buddy Miles Express. He had like a trumpet player, sax player, and a trombone player. He had keyboards, two guitar players, and a drummer, and a bass player. And it was a full-on soul rock band. I'm thinking, man, that would be fun to put something together like that, and just find a bunch of guys, keyboard player and everybody, and do this kind of 70s rock and roll like it was, back in the
yeah.
day. I mean, because that's the 70s is where I grew up. I mean, that's where I cut my whole teeth. learning how to play bass and writing songs and everything. ZZ Top and Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin and Black
Blood, sweat, and
Sabbath.
tears. Blood, sweat, and
Yeah,
tears.
Blood Frontiers, yeah, and Chicago Transit Authority and Chase. And then there was Sly and the Family Stillness, all these stuff in the early 70s that just, changed my life. And I was that kid, I was in my 20s in the 70s. So all those bands that came out in the 70s were all the same age. I mean,
Yeah.
Me and Paul Rogers are the fucking same age, Gene Simmons even. So we all of us listen to the same stuff. And that's what kind of gives it all this familiar thing. So it'd be fun to pull something like that out. Hope I'm not sound like I'm babbling now when I'm going.
No,
I'm
no.
just thinking the wheels are turning in my head. I think about that stuff.
I enjoy our talk. That's why I keep
Cool.
talking to you. It's I know one of the things you're always tough on yourself, and I'm hoping at some point you're becoming a lot more self-loving of your songs because I think you've always been critical of them.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like once it's
yeah.
out of you, it was a moment of time, and that's it. You can't, you know. Are you any better at that now? I mean, if
Um, it's like a balance. It's sort of like I'll listen to like my new album. I'll listen to it going, damn, them some fucking badass tunes. And then I'll play it for a friend and go, oh God, they're not that good at it. I don't think maybe they're not. And then I stop and laugh and go, don't matter. That's what you did. Put it out there.
there you go.
They're not hearing what you're hearing. And I smile and then I go, all those things that I don't like about that shit is what they're gonna like. Because everything that I don't like about me is what people tell me that makes me attractive in whatever I'm doing or what makes it
Hmm.
attractive is the flaws. And it's the hardest thing I think for any musician is to embrace your flaws. And yeah, you got to embrace your flaws. You got to embrace your dark side. Don't be
I
afraid.
I hope you. I'd like to see you do it a lot more because you were
Well,
talking before
but
about
I'm
like
good. But I'm
the old
good
stuff.
with it. But I'm good. Oh, that. Yeah. Well, see, now I.
You were cringing when we were talking at the beginning
Oh
of COVID, the
yeah.
beginning of the plague. We were
Oh
talking first talk.
oh
You're like, "Oh,
oh
I
yeah.
can't hear that." I'm like, "Come on,
Oh
man,
yeah.
that's
Things have
classic."
changed. Oh man. Maybe it was because I talked to you. But one day I got some alcohol, some wine or something. It was around COVID time, and I put on Out of Silent Planet and smoked a joint and drank some wine and got just good and just in
Yep,
that space. And I put my headphones on and listened to Out of Silent Planet. And when I took my headphones off, I went, oh my God, that was 1988. No wonder everybody freaked out. And I got it. I got it because that was before Alice in Chains and that was before
hmm
Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots. And I was remembering what was going on at that time. And I'm going, geez, you're right, Doug. And I got it. And that's all I needed. I don't put it on now and feel that
right. But
that
you
spark.
were
But
rough. You were actually smoking. You actually were smoking a joint, drinking wine
yeah.
when we were talking too.
Ah, yeah, I do that.
It
I
was the
do
same
that.
night. I mean, you're like, hold on, let
Hmm.
me get ready here. And get the glass
I
here.
do. I might have did it that night. Who knows?
No, it was fake.
But
I'm just joking. But it was
but
you were
but
rough on yourself.
and as I've learned, more about accepting who you are and what you've done, I pulled out a lot of those old demos that I'm gonna put out, and I would sit there and go, "Wow, Doug, you really worked hard, and that's a really good song." Or that really was a good lead. Why did
Yeah.
you think that lead sucked when you thought it wasn't good enough? And I'm going, wow, it's like you are really hard on yourself, and I'd laugh, and I get kind of upset, not in a bad way, just like, dude, how long did it take you to figure this out? And then go, stop beating yourself up and move forward. And so now I don't have a problem with anything
All right.
really. I just don't. I write a
Good.
song and I go, you like it or you don't. I like it. And there's not a the thing is for me is that when there is not a reaction, the shadow doesn't react. I
Right.
don't reflect. That's when I know that I'm okay. So when someone says to me, man, that song sucks, and I don't hear that twinge in the back of my mind that I have to have that conversation to say, let it go, blah, 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 and then I'm okay. It doesn't even happen anymore, which is what I've always wanted to get to. The dialogue is like integrate, those voices until you don't have to argue with yourself all day long and keep yourself in this place will stop you from not feeling safe, you know,
Well,
because that's all it is.
it is. I'm just glad to hear that because I was like, man, at some point I want you to be able to look back at everything you've done and get some appreciation for no one made you do that. You wrote it, you did it because you wanted to do it at the time.
Yeah,
That's how you felt. And just to appreciate it and be like, I accomplished some stuff that I
yeah,
enjoyed. And that's
yeah.
it. How are you looking for like, so what do you think for your solo? And actually, and then of course, always is a question of is King's X. Are you, now you guys are back to being doing stuff again. For a while, you were
Hmm.
on, on a
Oh
break.
yeah, we were off.
I know,
Oh wow, yeah. How long was that? Jesus, we didn't. Oh, anyway. What was your question?
man, now you just kill it for both of us. No, you had the question. It was first off, it's like, A, when do you think your solo will be out? And then from there, are you looking at
Oh.
maybe then doing King's X stuff, or are we talking
Yeah,
other
yeah.
stuff?
Well, right now I'm getting the record mastered, and then as soon as I get it mastered, I'll send it to Rat Pack, and then we'll make a date. It'll probably come out, after New Year's, because it takes a couple months to
Yeah.
print records and stuff and do the whole campaign. And then on King's X, we've been talking about making a new record, and I hope we can figure out where, how, and get all the stuff lined up. In fact, we're going to have a meeting next week, I think, a conference call, excuse me, to discuss maybe what we want to do and how we want to do it. We're excited about making a new record. After 46 years now, which was our birthday a few weeks ago, and 46 years we've been
Wow.
together. And it was just, we're just kind of like a bunch of little kids going, we're still doing this and it's still sounding good and it's still working. Let's make another record. What the heck, And it's like we're one of the oldest bands out there that's making music, and we still like kids in the playground. A little slower, less less cantankerous. We don't fight a lot anymore over parts and things. You know, we've learned to trust each other and to believe in each other like any band. But that's the secret about a band. If you're together for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you know each other real well and
Yeah.
you can make love like you never made love before, like old people. Well, I don't
Well,
know.
I think
That's just a scenario because I ain't never been married, and so yeah, yeah.
you throw it there. I think what I think first off, it's great. Congratulations. Because like the last album, It's Resides, was probably to me, I think the album is one of the best albums you've done in a series
Yeah,
of albums. I mean, the other albums are good, but I mean, that to me, that it was stellar. Your last
thanks.
album you guys did. I mean, that was like, yeah, that just brought back. It's like one of my favorite albums by you guys, and I don't
Oh
know
wow.
what it is about that. I mean,
Hmm.
there's other ones that have landmarks, each one different
Yeah.
time periods and stuff, and they always
Hmm.
ebb and flow. But that album just stands out so strong for me. I go back to that one more often than any of your albums.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's why I'm
That's
excited to
good.
hear more because that was like that's like what to me is like one of your best albums you've done. It's like, oh my God, this is where you're at right now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to hear you guys continuing on always makes me very happy. You know,
Yeah, the next record will be different again. I'm sure it will be. Every
that's exciting.
record, yeah, every record we put out. I mean, we always talk about it, but I think we're at a place now where we want to get as mellow and as aggressive as we can possibly get. Because I mean, that's our forte. We're very aggressive and we can really
Mhm.
be soft. Let's just take it further. Let's just see what else we can come up with, and let's just yeah. And Ty and Jerry both have different ideas. When we get together and talk about it, we're all never on the same page, but all we got to do is play a riff, and everybody just kind of falls into this thing that happens. So I personally just want to get in a room and just shit out a bunch of new songs. Ty wants to bring some songs in and we can shit out some. Jerry has ideas. And for me is I just gotta back up and go, let it flow because I'm a control freak. I want everybody in the room and write everything that way. But that's not what everybody wants to do, and that's not necessarily what we need to do. I'm good at stifling our creativity by having a presupposed idea of how I want something to
What
be.
whatever happened last album, it felt like a big breath of fresh air. That's that.
Well,
Whatever you do,
well,
that's the attitude you got to bring into the studio with those guys because that album sounded
yeah.
so open to me in
It
some
was.
ways.
Well, the thing about it, we hadn't made a record in so long. It was so cool to get together
Yeah.
and rehear ourselves again, which was fun. Also, we had a producer who was just like one of the guys, and he's a good friend of
Mhm.
mine. He produced two of my records, and Ty and Jerry loved him to death. So,
Yeah.
so we all had a great hang
Yeah.
experimenting, and another thing is we wanted to do it completely analog. The only thing that was digital was Pro Tools. That's
Hmm.
it. Everything else was analog. Even when we mastered it, it was mastered with tubes on tape. So
Wow.
we tried to get as close as we could. And I had a suggestion that we take every song and mix it like the genre it sounds like rather
Hmm.
than just trying to make it sound like King's X, which
Hmm.
would have been cool. But so that's what we did. Like take the time, for instance, that Jerry wrote and sang that could be played on top 40 radio. The drums weren't too loud or aggressive. It was mixed perfectly for that, to me. And then, or a swipe up, that was for heavy people that wanted to hear that Dogman thing,
Yep.
and so I think it was like a plethora of little pieces of candy. Every song had a different flavor and a different vibe to it. And the next record, I think it's going to be totally different than that. I don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be different. And
The
hopefully
producer's gonna. I'm sorry.
producers. Oh, it's going to be. We plan to do this. Use the same producer.
Yeah. Good. Is the producer like, all right, guys, look, they're all the faders up at the same spot. No one's louder than anybody else.
No, no, he just sits
I'm
there
just
and
kidding.
he just sits there and lets us hash it out, and he kind of directs but doesn't inflict.
Bass
He
needs to be
doesn't.
louder. Drum needs to be louder. Guitar
No,
needs to be
no,
louder.
no, no. We never do that anymore
No.
because we know, after so many years, we know, you know, uh, everybody's concerned about each other, and the way we play, there's like, you don't say, "Hey, bass ain't loud enough," or the guitar ain't. We can sometimes we say it ain't the exact tone I like.
Hmm.
But the thing is, you gotta let the producer mix it in the way he feels it rocks. It doesn't always necessarily it's not supposed to sound like my solo records. I mean, my bass on my solo records don't sound the same with King's X.
No.
And I know that, so I can't, say, blah. You gotta let the guy produce it like it's supposed to, and so you can love it.
You need to serve, but I think, yeah, well, I think right now for band though, I think you need to serve the song as a songwriter, especially as a
Right,
group. If you're not
right.
serving the song, an instrument overpowering or doing something different could ruin or take away from the listener of a whole good
Everything.
song. I
Yes,
mean,
I
can you imagine
agree.
like I don't know, name a classic song and something's just off in it? You know what I mean? Like a Hendrix song, but there's
Oh,
just like
well.
some hi hat or something got the background. You're just hearing it. You're like,
Dude,
I can't focus on that. There are
let me,
songs like that. I know.
dude, I found a copy somebody put online or something. They put the bass on Metallica and Justice for All. They
Oh,
put the bass on it. The bass was amazing, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't
yep,
even, it was like, oh man, it's like, I get it. Whatever moves you first, you can't alter it. Even Pro Jams, Jeff said he always hated the way the first Pro Jam record was mixed. So he said he wanted Brendan O'Brien to mix it
yeah,
one day. And so Brendan did. He remixed the whole record, actual tracks. Dude, it sounds like a Brendan O'Brien mix. It fucking rocks. But it
yeah.
doesn't have that urgency that the other record had.
Mm,
It didn't, Eddie was in that echo piercing voice that kind of hurt. It sounded
yep,
like this guy crying in the wilderness, listen to me, and it was just there was this vibe that drew you into it. And now the record just sounds like some great musicians rocking out. So there's a lot to people have to do with producing that, sometimes they don't get a lot of credit.
it is. And sometimes the sound affects it in a way that, and I'm guilty of this
Yeah.
myself. Like, or like, like, and sometimes you fall in love with the original sound. And I think like Metallica,
Hmm.
the bass, something sonically, the way it mixed with the other guitars moved up,
Yeah.
it didn't sound right. There's something sonically in there. I've heard that what you're talking about, that
Yeah.
it didn't feel right. I don't know the words for it. Now, like,
Yeah.
here's the example. Like, so I talked to Mantis from Venom, and we're talking about the first
Hmm.
Venom album, right?
Hmm.
You know, that was the album that got black metal, whatever, going.
Right,
And
right.
I'm like, and if you've heard the recording of it, it sounds like it was recorded in a garage. It was very bare
With
minimal,
one mic.
right? And I'm being so. I said, "Geez," I said, the only I said when I heard that, the one thing I wish is that your guitars were up in the mix. And he was kind of offended. I was like, "Oh, now." He's like, "This is how it sounds. That's how it got to who it was." And like the whole it was.
Mhm.
I mean, it is what it is to the. But I think me, because I would just go for production and I love music. I don't even want to. I'm not even saying I got to change that garage punky sound.
Mhm.
I just want to hear the guitars a little bit louder so I
And
can hear the riffs.
right. And that's the funny thing is that because we're mixers, we like to hear things correctly.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if you had turned the guitars up. It wouldn't have had the impact because
Oh
those,
yeah,
and that's what I'm learning and you're learning. We're both learning about that is that the flaws are what change the world. It's not
yeah.
the perfection. You don't do that till you become a pop star, and then that's just plastic perfection, you know.
Yeah, I was like, I go, you can keep the rawness. I just want to hear just a hair, just like a decibel up, just a
I
tweak up,
know.
so I can just hear because I like your guitar.
Yeah,
It was fine.
yeah,
The banging is
yeah.
fine. I just wanted to hear the riffs better.
I know.
I've learned also, yeah, some people just don't want to hear it.
You know what you do
Yeah, but your
though?
honesty.
You know what I would do, and I've done this with other records, is like this record by Simple Minds called The Sparkle in the Rain. It just doesn't sound good. I compressed it and put a whole lot of low end in the overall mix, and it rocks now. So here's what you do. Take that Venom record and download it onto your Pro Tools, and
Yeah,
then run a AI master thing through it, and it'll settle everything.
yeah.
And isotope actually will turn the bass down or the drums down. You can run a track and just tell it, and it'll take the bass literally and turn it
Oh,
down. I mean, I've been doing this with shit. It's AI is crazy, but you should try that.
I'll have to
Literally,
try it.
literally, and there's another thing called a stem separator. So
Yeah.
it'll separate all the tracks of that song, so you can do your own mix.
Some
People
good
say
riffs.
People say to me on like the first King's X record, they go, "Where are the cymbals?" I'm going, "Sam didn't put them in the mix." You know, and I'm going, "I'd put the cymbals in the mix." Yeah, I would too, but we can't. But I mean, but literally, I wouldn't get upset about it.
No, I was just saying it was good riffs. I just wanted to hear them. That was it. Just
Yeah.
everything's in his hope. And sometimes, look, we're all gonna there'll be 10 of us in a room. And here's your new solo album, right? And you're like,
Hmm.
you're criticizing it. And all 10 people are technically they all hear the same thing, but everybody's hearing kind of a different song.
Hmm.
And you don't realize how everybody's hearing. I mean, most people don't realize that they're all hearing a different version of what they hear. They all like it, but it's not always the same.
Right.
And your hearing is also based off sometimes your emotions and your life experiences. So you're
Hmm.
totally contorting it also from the other person. So I think that, just if people are enjoying your stuff, they're just enjoying it. I mean, and that's all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all good. I mean, I want to say, Doug, I want to thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you on Laughing Monkey Music. I mean,
I love talking with you. We yak about shit.
we
Good
do.
shit.
We've had talked about your family. We had a big
Yeah.
family one time.
Yeah, it's
Um,
true.
we've really from that to Mother Love Bone because that's where my name came from. If you
Oh yeah,
remember,
that's
you're like,
right.
we're the Laughing Monkey. Remember Mother Love Bone? That was the theory of Andrew Wood, Led
Hmm.
Zeppelin. Then he
Yeah.
goes Mother Love Bone. So I go Laughing Monkey Music. That's the
I
secret.
like that. That's awesome.
So
Cool.
that's where I came from. You go, where'd you get it from? That was it. That was our first talk. No, it's always fun to catch up with you, and maybe when your album comes out, we'll do a deep dive or something, and
Let's do it.
we'll talk some more
Yeah.
in January or February when it comes out again. But
Okay.
people, check out until then. Check out Thingamajigger. It kind of came out. It was a little press. There was some press. I don't think there was enough out there though. Kind of slipped it
Yeah.
out there.
But check it
People
out.
check it out. It's a good album. It's a really good album.
Thank you.
I think it needs more listens, more spins, as the kids would say. Right.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, brother. You take care. You have a good day.
All right.
Thanks for
Thanks.
coming on.
We'll
We'll
do
talk
this
again soon.
again. All
We
right.
will.